The last view that Dr. Benninger wanted us to get was a visualization of the jugular vein. Now, the reason my stupid face is on here is I wanted to show you kind of like just how I placed the probe when I got these two images, because there's an anterior approach and there's more of a lateral approach, right? And it totally changes just obviously the point of view of the probe, but it changes the way the vessels are oriented on the screen. So this is pretty low. I'm right by the thyroid. And it's kind of, I have the probe right here. It's pointing mostly posterior, but kind of posterior medial. And as the vessels sit right here, right, you have the jugular and the carotid. So they're going to be sitting right next to each other in this orientation. But if I just rotate the probe and maintain that posterior medial, that carotid artery is the more medial structure and the more medial vessel. So if I just maintain this same orientation, then it's going to hit the carotid. So what I have to do is I have to kind of rotate and point it straight posteriorly, and I'll press play here. So as I'm doing this, I'm right here and I rotate it just like that until I have the good visualization of that jugular, and you can compress it and obviously have the person kind of bear down when they're doing that. If they're seated up, if they're laying flat, they don't have to bear down as much just because gravity's working with us. But now we can change the view and go from a more anterior approach to a more lateral approach, which is what Dr. Benninger was discussing with us. So now what you're doing is you're now changing the orientation. You have the jugular carotid, right? So now you're just rotating the probe and just changing the point of view. So now those two vessels are going to be kind of stacked on top of each other. So I'll press play here. And then as I go into the long axis, you can actually see jugular and carotid right there. So yeah, I hope these videos were helpful. Excited to go play around with some ultrasound probes, and I'll see you guys later.